Hey, my friends, what's up? I want to give my take on this whole NFL controversy thing between the players and Donald Trump. And I've been seeing some Facebook memes going around that's been saying that, well, this whole thing isn't about disrespecting the flag or anything like that, but it's about taking a stand against the racism and brutality. Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument that's true, and let's grant that for the sake of argument. Okay, if they're taking a stand against that, then why aren't they taking a stand against other forms of brutality, like, for example, black on black crime? Black on black crime happens on a daily basis, especially with a lot of innocent black kids getting shot in the middle of that nonsense. Where is the stand of injustice against that? Where's them kneeling down about that? Where's the outrage about that? You want to talk about police brutality, but you don't want to talk about the brutality of black on black crime. That's a problem too. Aren't you going to say anything about that? Blacks are the biggest proportionate group of people who go into murdering clinics to kill their own babies. Where is the kneeling down of that? Where is the outrage about that injustice? So you want to be selective about what injustice to get outraged about. And it makes me think that if you being selective like this, then your whole thing is nothing more than about dividing people and about politics. It's not about being against real injustice. It's not about being sincere about standing up against injustice. And they want to sit up here and talk about, whoa, you don't want to forget about what happened and you can't just act like it don't exist. Of course we know racism exists, but the vast majority of people already understand that. And when we talk about people disrespecting the flag, we're talking about them forgetting about the fact that, yes, there was a lot of racism and there's still racism today. But the thing is, that flag also represents, the move against that. It represents a lot of people who died to end a lot of racism. Or any and every race, or any and every form of racism that exists. It represents that too. It represents a lot of blacks who served in the military to end slavery, and a lot of whites who died along with them to end slavery. There's been a whole lot of good things that the flag represents too. So it's like liberals are like insulting the intelligence of people. Like they don't see that people think about the fact that, yeah, racism exists, but there's people taking a stand against racism on a daily basis all the time. And they acting like people are just stupid and, just forget about racism from day to day. And they don't, they try to like overlook it like it's not there. It's not the fact that they're overlooking it like it's not there, but the fact that they know and acknowledge racism exists, but they deal with it whenever it comes up. They deal with it, at the specified time. They don't sit up here and try to stir up people's emotions about it 24/7 like a lot of liberals like to do to keep people divided, because that's not going to help anything. It doesn't help anything at all when you insult people's intelligence and thinking that that they just overlooking racism. They just don't care about it. And that's just not true. The vast majority of people in this country hate racism. The vast majority of people take a stand against it all the time. It doesn't exist in nowhere near the capacity that it did years ago. And if you really believe that it still does, then why are you still here in this country? Why are you still here whining about it just centuries removed, centuries and centuries later? Why are you still here whining about it? Because I'll challenge any one of you liberals to show me one country in the world that doesn't have racism in its roots. I challenge you to show me one country in the world that doesn't have its ills, that doesn't have its injustices. Oh, you can't? Exactly, because every single country on the planet has injustices and has its ills in its background. Ain't no country on the planet perfect. But you know what? A lot of people understand that America is one of the freest countries in the world today. to fight against that type of stuff. Because if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have the biggest amount of people trying to immigrate over here. America has like probably the biggest melting pot in the world. People from all over the world immigrate to this country. And a lot of them immigrated to this country to get away from a lot of the nonsense and evils that were happening in their native lands too. So while there's been blood on our hands, you know, it's also been a whole lot of good done to try to mend those wounds too. There's a whole lot of good that's being overlooked. That's the problem with liberals. They want to take the bad stuff and they want to keep stirring people's emotions on just the bad stuff over and over again, and they don't want to truly move forward. This is nothing but about selective identity politics. This is all this crap is about. This is not about being against injustice. I'm so sick of the nonsense, man. I'm so sick of the hypocrisy. I'm so sick of the selective BS. If you want to be against injustice, be against all of it. Don't be selective what you want to pick and what you don't want to pick. Because that just shows me that you're just a raving hypocrite and that you're doing this just for attention or for whatever stupid personal selfish reasons. Not because you truly care about, standing up for against brutality and injustice. It's so stupid, and I've long had enough, but it just had to be said today. But that's all I gotta say. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Take care. God bless. Peace.